我需要一个放松的灵气，因为我们今天是一个非常在灵气圈重磅中的重磅人物，威廉老师。
Reiki has its own wisdom. Reiki guides the key. You cannot misuse it. You cannot do bad things with Reiki. Reiki can only do good.
2014年的时候，威廉有发现了一个新的能量，叫做 Holy Fire。
The Holy Fire was actually a spiritual energy and in the Bible there was a time it's called the day of Pentecost. On the day of Pentecost, this fire came down all around them, and after that they could do miracles and healing and all sorts of things.
那为什么圣火选择要跟 Reiki 的力量一起运作呢？
Because it's a good idea. With the attunement idea can be combined with holy fire so that anyone can receive the holy fire.
今天最后啊，可不可以请老师给每一个现在听到的人一个远端的灵气？
What I can do is a short guided meditation that will bring everyone a level of holy fire.
大家好，欢迎收听神仙补习班，我是你们得道小仙女谢依霖，
我是你们的灵气先生丹丹老师。
我是你们灵气小队长欧弟。
I am William Rand, Reiki Master.
本节目由大宇宙各方神仙共同主持，为各位听众打开通往仙界的大门。准备好了吗？让我们一起升空吧！很紧张，很 nervous 哦 ，nervous。
全身是汗。
我们今天
You need Reiki.
Yeah， 今天我需要一个放松的灵气，因为我们今天欢迎来到的是一个非常在灵气圈重磅中的重磅人物，可谓是灵气界的这个活化石，灵气天花板，行走的灵气历史，我不知道你怎么形容它，反正就是我们真的非常的荣幸可以欢迎威廉老师。哇！
第二次找到英文的特辑。
威廉已经是78岁、79岁了。
Yes, next month, 79.
Happy birthday to you！ 突然问一个题外话，老师吃蛋糕的话，要自己先给这个蛋糕灵气才吃吗？
Oh, always, yes.
每一餐都会吗？
Oh, always, yes. I always do Reiki on my food.
这个传统好像高铁号有女士也会有一个灵气果汁。
Oh, the Reiki juice, yes. If I have a restaurant or at home, I do the holy fire symbol, put my hands up, do holy fire. It makes the finishing part of cooking.
画龙点
It
睛
is like a seasoning and makes the food more vibrant and alive.
所以吃的这些食物可以更长寿吗？
Oh, yes.
那你每次下的这个的意念都不一样，每一个食物。
No, always Reiki. Reiki knows what to do.
这就是我想问的。所以灵气本身它有自己的智慧，是吗？
Yes, Reiki has its own wisdom. In fact, the kanji for Reiki is Rei is wisdom.
灵性的
Yeah,
智慧。
wisdom key.
那么请丹丹来介绍一下威廉老师的，因为威廉的那个一生感觉就是
title 实在太多了，
对 title
太
多了，
长了，我们要花2个小时介绍老师。
一生大概就是灵气的历史吧。
我们简述。
我说点有趣的是，我们说好不是这样子，因为我今天说好是欧迪主 key， 然后那个依林辅助，
依林搞笑。
结果呢，现在他们2个把球丢到我身上。
但是我们先跟大家简介一下，就是小绿、奥迪跟丹丹都是威廉的学生，
Yes
但是我不确定他记得。
威廉还记得我们吗？
Oh, yes. Yes, I tune into you once in a while. Make sure you're doing it right.
真的假的？
I am only joking.
我还招架不
吓
住
到
的。
嘞！如果真的有一些人在用灵气做不好的事情，老师会知道的吗？
You cannot do bad things with Reiki. Reiki can only do good. You cannot use it for harm. Ki can be used for harm. People that do negative things with energy use ki. But Rei guides the ki. You cannot misuse it. There have been people that have come into Reiki thinking they could use it to cause harm or control people. They admit to me they cannot do it. Some of them converted over to practice Reiki, but because they couldn't use Reiki to make people do what they want, they stopped using Reiki. But interestingly, Reiki also will stop any type of negative energy that anyone might send to you. So you cannot be affected by negative energy.
所以这都宇宙智慧都有安排的，这样就让一切都恢复到爱与和谐之中嘛。
That's right, yes.
威廉有遇过有人对他有恶意的时候吗？
Oh, that's what I said, yes. Someone has tried to do that, but they were not able to do it.
因为它的保护罩太强了嘛。
Oh, yes. But the thing is, the secret is that we manifest everything we experience. So if someone does try to do that to you, it is because something inside you is allowing it to happen. So by doing that, the ultimate healing is to find out what part is doing that and to heal it. Then no one can do that to you. You do not need a shield. You use it to find the parts of yourself that are weak. Then you heal them. Then you cannot be affected by these negative energy. Then the person doing it goes off to someone else.
所以只要我们疗愈好自己的部分的话，那一些不好的东西就会离开我们嘛。
That is right. Yes.
我们要做很简单，就是把手放在身上这样子 heal 这样就好了嘛。
Oh, yes. To do Reiki on yourself, yes, you put your hands on yourself.
我总是睡着
Oh, then it's good. It is Reiki sleep. And then it's healthy.
我想说
Yeah.
今天一定要给自己一个好好灵，
Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
因为我真的太常使用灵气了，任何地方、任何地点。因为我2个小朋友，真的是很神奇的事情，是我们常常去住饭店啊，带小朋友出去玩，然后饭店很复杂嘛，人来人往的。可是只要我儿子进来，都会说有问题。我一用完灵气，他们就会很开心的跑起来了。
Ah, good.
他们甚至跟我说：“妈妈，我要学灵气耶。”他们才
真的哦
5岁，5岁可以学灵气吗？
Yes, but a simple version. Yeah, simple, no symbol. Just the Reiki like level 1.
但我猜我儿子应该只是因为符号很帅，所以想学。
Oh, have him practice with no symbol first. Then after that, he gets symbol.
威廉是什么时候才接触到灵气的？
Oh, well, I learned it in Hawaii. At that time, I had begun studying many different types of metaphysics, healing, shamanism. I would take different classes. I would take a class in a certain subject, and I would learn it until I could practice it, or sometimes teach it. Then I would go on to something else. Eventually, I learned about Reiki, and so I received Reiki 1. That was in 1980,
1980
45年前。
before you were born, yes? Yes. So yeah, it was a long ago. So yeah, I'm very happy to have had that happen.
可是我很想知道，就是老师为什么那个时候要学这么多疗愈的东西？在那个年代，可能大家觉得工作啊、吃饭更重要，为什么会想要学神仙能量？
Oh, I already had a business before that. And so then I decided that instead of having a business, I would focus on learning metaphysical methods. One of the first things I did was become an astrologer.
Cool.
Yeah. And so then I would charge money for doing astrology charts. So that's how I would earn an income. Then eventually I learned Reiki. So I added Reiki to what I was doing. And when someone came to me for astrology, and I found problems in their chart, I would suggest they come for a Reiki session to help to heal the problems in their astrology chart. So I find what they need to have fixed. Then I use Reiki to help them.
找到问题，然后解决它，这样子。
Yes.
那威廉在接触灵气之前是很好奇你是什么样的人？
I was a businessman. And so I started at 19, my own business. I was interested in motorcycles and racing motorcycles. Because my friend did that. He raced motorcycles, he knew all about them. So I followed along with that. I got a job at a motorcycle shop. In the motorcycle shop, there were some books on how to make motorcycles go faster. And so what I did was I learned all about that. I wrote my own little booklet. And I sold it in the back of a motorcycle magazine. And so I sold my booklet for $1. And it cost 20 cents to make. This is a long time ago. So then I started selling them. I sold 800. And then I had the names and addresses of all 800 people. Then I realized I could sell these people motorcycle parts. So then I made my own catalog of racing parts for motorcycles. And I sold the catalog for $1. I made money on the catalog also. But then what I did was the companies would do something called drop ship. So that meant if I wanted to, if someone ordered a part from me, then I would send the shipping label and a check to the company, and they would send it directly to the customer. So I didn't have to have the parts in my house, and then they got the part. So I was able to have many parts in my catalog. And I did very well with it. And I was in my parents' basement. Then I saved enough money to buy my own house. So I moved out. No. This was still in Michigan. So I had my own house. Then I got a place of business, had employees, and then different manufacturers of racing parts asked me to sell their racing parts for motorcycles. So I had employees. And so the business got bigger. And so then what happened is I was still quite young. I had a friend who knew how to make all kinds of things, especially for motorcycles. So I started a business with him as a partner. We made sidecars for motorcycles. The only thing is that it worked okay at first, but I had two partners, and they came to work at first. Then they slowed down, were not coming to work very much. So I had to learn to do all the jobs. As I learned to do each job, that became my job. They came to work less and less. So finally, they stopped coming to work.
那钱还要分给他们吗？
No.
OK， 那 OK。
No, but the problem was that I moved into the factory. So, and from that morning when I got up till I went to bed at night, I was working as fast as I could.
所以它就是一个赚钱机器。
Yeah, so then it almost worked. Then I realized it wasn't going to work. At that point, then I left and I started traveling around. And because I had all these skills from working in this factory, my own factory, I could get different types of jobs. But eventually I went out to Hawaii, and then I was working in a shop that made boats, and I was the foreman. But then I had someone do my astrology chart, and then she told me about another group of people that I might be interested in. She didn't say too much about them, but in the meantime, I had been learning about Wicca. So then I joined this group. One of the members knew all about astrology. So I found just by talking to him, I learned about astrology. It was like I already knew about it. I was able to do it in astrology charts. Have you ever had your entire astrology chart done?
星盘
有看没有懂。
Most people know where their sun is at because it's on their birthday. And then they say you are Leo, Scorpio, Gemini, something like that, based on your birthday. But that's just where the sun is at your time of birth. But also, you have to look at the moon, where the moon was at. And there's something called the rising sign. And all of the planets in the solar system are part of the chart. Every planet has to do with a different part of your personality. So by doing this reading, you can tell all about the person's personality.
那跟那群学巫术的有什么交汇还冲击？
Oh, it's interesting that you have asked this question. Something did happen there.
Oh, really?
Well, anyway, I got involved with astrology, and then also I learned that you can tell all about the person's personality. Where the planets are right now has an influence on and tells you what's happening in the person's life right now. And there's a book called An Ephemeris, and it shows where the planets have been in the past and where they will be in the future. By looking at that, you can tell what has happened in the person's past and what will happen in their future. But to do this, you must look in this book. Whereas a person's astrology chart is like a picture. So what I did is figure out how to put everything in this picture. So their natal planets were there so you could tell their personality, but you could also see their past, present, and future. So it was much more than a normal reading. And I had one of the charts about this big, but I had one that made like a poster. My roommate was doing a tarot card reading. And so the woman he was reading for saw the chart. She said, "Oh, I know someone that would be interested in this chart." So I had some that were all rolled up. I gave her a copy. A few days later, I'm sitting in my apartment, and I'm not aware of it, but there was a pressure on this side of my body, pressure. And I didn't pay much attention to it. But then it moved to the front. I said, "Oh, something's happening." So then I made my mind very still. I became an observer. Then I could see it, feel it move over here like this. So I knew, yes, something's going on, but I didn't know what it was. So then a few days later, the woman called that I gave the chart to, and she said she had given this chart to her friend, and her friend is a kahuna. The Hawaiian kahuna is the Hawaiian shaman. So then I go, oh. So then I realized, oh, what I was feeling was his energy. Because when I went to see him,
他要来干嘛？
he wanted to see me because he knew about the astrology. Because I had given the chart to the woman and she gave it to him. So because of that, he wanted to see me. So I went over and to meet him, and he already knew all about me. So I realized it was him reading my aura. The pressure I felt was his aura coming into mine to read my aura here, here, here on different sides.
It's my privacy.
No.
Welcome.
No, he is a kahuna. So when I met him, he already knew all about me, and he asked me if I would do astrology for him personally. And also, he said he had students. And he wanted to know if I would do astrology for his students also. And he would set me up with an office. And we would charge money.
哦，所以你们就合作了。
Yeah, I would get paid to do this. But he would keep some of the money too. He wants to know if I would do this. So I would look at him. He's sitting there very powerful. So inside I'm going, what? What? Are you kidding me? Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Yes. That's how I'm feeling. But I see how he is. I don't want to do that. I want to be like him. So I say, yes, I might like to try that.
还要演戏。
Yeah, so then I got to work with him. I learned all about what he does. And I did astrology for him also. So with these sorts of things, there are often things that a kahuna does or a witch does that they don't want anyone to know about. For instance, they can help people, and they tell people all about that. They can heal, give guidance, direction, things like that. They tell people about that. But there's another part that they don't tell, and that's where they can cause harm.
有吗？这个威廉的真的有遇到这部分吗？
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things he said, he could take any negative energy that comes toward him, capture it, make it positive, and add it to his supply.
这个就是草船借箭呐。
He really knows what he's doing.
但是你那时候还是要表现的。
Well, it was surprising. But this was later, after I got to know him better. So then, in working with him, I learned about what he does. And also he had classes. I took those too. But I knew about hypnosis and self-hypnosis. What I knew also that all of these abilities, clairvoyance, clairaudience, reading someone's mind, doing spells, things like that, all come from the subconscious mind. And hypnosis works directly with the subconscious, and I could do self-hypnosis. So after working with him for a while, I made a hypnosis tape, directed the subconscious mind to do everything he did, especially for his protection. So what it does is it put a protective field of energy around the person. It also cut any negative cords that were connecting the person to negative energy. Then it took any negative energy that comes toward the person and captures it, makes it positive, and adds it to the person's supply. It did everything he does. It worked. When I started using it for myself, I realized that a lot of my own problems were not coming from me, but from other people. People who were jealous or did not want me to succeed or things like that were causing problems for me. But then when I started listening to this hypnosis tape, then those things stopped.
威廉的那个催眠卡带可以私下传给我们吗？
Oh, are you interested in this?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I didn't know. Most people are not. I don't. So I made a CD, and it's available also as streaming, called Spiritual Protection and Healing, on the website reiki.org. But it is in English.
哦，有开放给下载的。
And it does all these things.
后来发生什么了？
Oh, you think more happened? Yes, so there's more to the story.
对啊，我想说有发生什么奇怪的事情吗？还是什么的？
Okay, so then I make this tape, and it works. So I go back to the kahuna. I tell him that I made a tape that does all these things. He doesn't seem to be, he doesn't care too much about it. He says, oh, I see. But he did. He was quite upset.
你偷学我的技术。
Yes, something like that, yes.
Oh.
So then what happens, I started to become connected to spiritual beings that were there to help me. So for instance, I have a pickup truck, I'm driving, and then the traffic stops. And then I'm sitting there, I know I will be there for a while. Then psychically, I look up and I see a beam of light comes down like this. I look at the beam of light, and in the beam of light, I see a being coming down in the light. As soon as it sees that I see it, it stops. And it watches to see if I am upset. It sees I'm not disturbed by this. It comes down a little further. It has on a robe. From the bottom of his robe, light comes down all around me. All around my truck is this light coming down. It feels like some type of protection. Then a few days later, I talked to the being. And I tried to talk when he was doing it. He says, I cannot talk now. Let's talk later. So then later, I was able to communicate. And I said, where do you come from? He says, oh, I come from a place where there are many beings, but we live in a special place. It's like a school or temple. And we learn all of these things to help people on earth. A day or two later, I'm in my kitchen, and I look down at the floor. I see a blue light around me, a circle, and it says, step out of the light. So then I continued to listen to my tape for the protection. And then I had told the kahuna about it. And so what he did, he could do he could help people, but he could also cause harm.
所以是贵人转小人的 part 吗？
Oh no, it was a connection to his group, so I would not be connected to him.
什么意思？
就是他原本跟那些有连接，他做完那个催眠之后就不会跟他有连接。
And then I'm noticing that there are these beings that are there to help me. Some new beings I had not been aware of before. But I'm listening to my tape, and I have the protective field around me. Then I see the kahuna, and he's sending a pipeline of negative energy to me.
负面能量，
负面能量。
都倒垃圾吗？
Yeah, so it has lightning bolts in it, broken pieces of glass, sharp things that could hurt you. And he's having to use his willpower to keep it tightly focused and dumping it on my aura. And he's watching what happens. And so it comes to the edge, it starts foaming. My aura is transforming it into neutral or positive energy. Then I notice that he's watching this and that his intention will be then to figure out how to make it stronger and to break through my defenses. So then I am working with these spiritual beings also, and I have my protective field, and I have the part that will take negative energy and make it positive. And so the spiritual beings are working with me, and I'm in my house. And then as I step from the living room to the kitchen, something happens all at once. And I know that the kahuna values more so doing things that are practical than doing what he's trying to do to me. So I give him a command. The command is go back to work. Like stop doing this worthless thing.
少来烦我。
And then at the same time, then the beings strengthened my aura and they made the energy around me perfectly clear light. And the pipeline of negative energy was transmuted into perfectly clear light. And I watched it go all the way back to him. Now, what I said though is I said a prayer. And I told the beings I wanted to stop him from doing this, but I did not want to cause him any harm. So it made this into perfectly clear light all the way back. He was hit by a wave of clear light, and he had a storage area with all this negative energy in it. It transmuted that into clear light also. So he was standing within a sphere of perfectly clear light. He had no negative energy to work with anymore, so he was not harmed.
所以他恶意破产了。
From negative energy. Yeah, and then I heard him declare he would never look my way again. So, all done. So in other words, that's what I wanted, for it to stop it permanently. So what I did was probably something he wasn't able to do, to take all of his junk negative energy and make it clear light. So he never did bother me again.
所以他那时候还没有学灵气，
I didn't know Reiki at that time yet.
就是发生这么多奇怪的事情，所以才想说要去学习一些灵性的东西来保护自己嘛。
Well, I was always learning new things. So then there's a technique called rebirthing. So the man that started, his name was Leonard Orr. This is a long time ago. And he was going to have a week-long workshop on the Big Island. So there are the Hawaiian Islands. The last one is called the Big Island. So I decided I would take it. So I went there. There was about 60 people. Every single person did some type of meditation, yoga, healing. I mean, they're all very spiritual people.
Strange people.
Yeah, so
Strange people.
Yeah, all strange, just like me.
Strange people 说别人 strange people。
We're among friends. So Leonard, who's in charge, would ask different people to talk about the specialty that some of them were able to do. So we would broaden our understanding of healing and metaphysics and meditation. So then this woman, her name was Bethel Fay, she started talking about Reiki. And she said she was a Reiki master. And I was very curious about it. She said two things that were very impressive to me. She said, well, to do healing, what you normally do is first make your own auric field stronger. Then you use some of your own energy to send it to the person you want to heal. But when you do this, then your energy gets smaller. And she was right, because that's the way the kahuna would heal. And other healing methods use the same technique. You had to do breathing, meditation, go in the sunshine, things like that to make your aura stronger. Then use that extra energy to send to the person you want to heal. But then your energy gets smaller. So Bethel mentioned this. But she said with Reiki, you don't do that. You tap into an unlimited supply. So your energy does not get smaller when you do healing. And in fact, it actually can increase. I thought, wow, that's a good idea.
这个划算。
好东西。
Yeah, and so then also she said that when you do healing, you must guide the energy to be positive and healthy to heal the person that you're working with. But with Reiki, Reiki guides itself. So I thought, oh, that is a good idea too. But I said to myself, is this true? Maybe she's just making it up. Because the Rosicrucians, this other group I was part of, said, don't believe something just because someone says it's true, even if it's written in a book. Learn about things from experience. So I'm thinking, how can I learn about this from my own experience? So I'm just wondering, how can I do this? This is, I want to do this. So the next day she came to class and she said that there would be enough free time in the rebirthing workshop for her to teach a Reiki workshop. I said, that's it. That's how I can find out. I can take the workshop and observe how does it work? Does it really do what she says?
因为威廉初次接触灵气的。
Yes. So then I take her workshop and we get attunements. And so what I noticed is we're all sitting like this and then in a row. And I'm watching, I'm very aware of what my energy is doing. And even before she gets to me, I see energy coming down through my crown, goes down to my root, comes back to my heart and flows out of my heart. And I could see it's like breaking up some block and little pieces of material that are glowing and being blown out like that. That is real. It's not my imagination. Then when we practiced, then I could feel the energy from others coming into me. When I gave Reiki to them, I could feel it flowing through me into them. And everyone was very impressed by the Reiki energy. So I was happy that I had, was so powerful. Then I went for a walk by myself and the sunlight was coming down through the bushes and trees. And then the Reiki spoke to me. It said, this energy can be developed. And it was a message directly to me.
这是初恋。
Yes, that's it. Yeah, strong connection. So then I remembered that. But the teacher said, oh no, you cannot develop it. When you have Reiki 1, that's what you have. Everyone has the same thing. You cannot make it stronger. But the energy said could be developed. So I believe the energy. So then the teacher's name was Bethel Fay, and I was very happy to have gotten Reiki. So then a while later, Bethel calls me and she says she wants to teach level 2. Now level 2 costs $500. Then it was a lot of money. So I didn't have $500. But then she asked me, and I just thought, I will never take level 2. I do not have $500. But she says, do I know anyone that has level 1 and can afford the $500 fee for level 2? Because she's going to come and teach a level 2 class. Can I help her get students? I said, maybe I could. So I started calling around to people and I gave them Bethel's phone number. And in a little while, Bethel calls me and she said, oh, I'm so happy that you have done this. Because of you, now I can have a class. And she said, oh, and William, I want to tell you also, what I do for someone like you, you can take the class free. I go, wow. Yeah, that's I did the same thing. I never thought of this. Yes. Yeah, this is a big surprise. So I got to take level 2. And so that was really something. Because back then, most people had level 1. Very few people had level 2 because it was so much money. So I took level 2. And then Bethel said something very interesting. She said, Reiki can heal your life. And she explained that before we were born, we have a life purpose. And when we're a little baby, we remember what this purpose is. But as we get older, we start to develop and we start to learn to talk and walk. We start to see the values that our parents have. And we start to make a plan for our life. And so our life purpose then starts to fade somewhat. And for some people, they forget completely about their life purpose. And they start out getting a good education, making money, getting the nice car, big house, and they forget about their life purpose. But she said with level 2, it helps you remember your life purpose. And also it helps you to fulfill it. I go, this is good.
That's what I want.
Yes. So I was very happy about this. So then what I did was I started saying a prayer. And I imagined that the real energy was going up to Reiki. And the prayer was, guide me and heal me so that I might be of greater service to others. Then I made a little change. I said, guide me and heal me so that I might be of greater service to myself and others. I began saying this prayer intently every day. I was living in Hawaii, and I had a house they call a plantation house. That's a special house they build for the plantation workers. A very nice house. And if you can find one of those houses to live in, it's considered to be very lucky. So I had a plantation house.
跟灵气许愿吗？
No. I already had it. And so my thought was, I am going to stay in Hawaii the rest of my life.
这就是我看过最棒的东西。
Hawaii is a beautiful place. And I thought, if all I do is stay in Hawaii my whole life and live here, that will be sufficient to make my life worthwhile. It would be a great accomplishment just to live here. So that was my idea. So I started saying my prayer. And then I lived there were 2 other of these plantation houses also, and we had a washer and dryer that we all shared together. So one night I went out to get my laundry, and I look up and the sky is perfectly clear, and you could see the stars. You could tell there were stars that were very close to the earth. There were some that were further away, and then you could like see the depths of the universe. It was just amazing. My mind expanded. I thought, wow, I never saw the universe like this before. So I'm in this sense of awe. I go into my house. I'm standing there just feeling this presence, like a sense of the whole universe. Then I sense a being is there. And the being says to me, there is a way for you. And when the being says this, I see a path going off into the distance. I look at it, I go, whoa. And then I can see the path going off, and the being says, there is a way for you. And at first it will be difficult, but I will be here to help you. And in the end, you will fulfill your life purpose. But you can't just be aware of this path. This is a very important moment in your life. You must decide if you want to accept this path, because this will be much different than the path you're on now. You must decide if you want to accept it. So I go, I accept this path.
Yes! I say yes!
Yeah. So then the being sort of fades. But then things start changing. And I'm thinking I'm going to stay in Hawaii the rest of my life. So a man comes to Hawaii. His name is Tony Robbins. Have you ever heard of Tony Robbins?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he did at that time called the fire walk. You could walk on burning coals and you don't get burned. But he also taught this special way of accomplishing goals. So I took his workshop. And so then what you do, though, also is you write your greatest fear on a piece of paper and you fold it up. Then you take off your shoes and you roll up your pants and you go out and there's a bed of burning coals.
Oh.
But he has already done all of these processes with the whole group to get you ready to walk on these coals and not be
真
burned.
的要走过去吗？
Yes.
哎呦，
现在是真的脚吗
Yeah,
It's
see?
real?
Yeah, they were real. And so anyway, what you do, there's a whole line of people going up to the coals. And then it's my turn. You take your paper with your greatest fear, you throw it into the coals. It bursts into flame. Then you walk across the coals. And then you're supposed to keep your mind up here, up high. Do not think of your feet at all. Up here. Then you're supposed to repeat these words, cool moss. Cool moss, cool moss, cool moss. I guess you're walking along. So I do this. I get to the middle and I'm very curious. You're supposed to keep your mind up here. But my mind starts coming down.
Oh my god.
It gets down to my knees. And suddenly I feel my feet are burning.
哎呦，
好烫
I go, I know, like I made a mistake. I go, oh no, my feet burned. I walk off and then my feet burned and I walked off. But then I go sit down. I look at my feet. They are not burned. I thought this is the most powerful thing I've ever done in my life. It was very amazing. Yeah. Anyway, I did that fire walk and so very, very powerful. So then I met a woman there and she had been a movie star in Japan and she, I guess, did well. And she had a house on the Big Island. But anyway, then I was talking to some other people. I found out that Tony Robbins was going to have a really big workshop on the mainland. It'd be 2 weeks long. It was a certification for you to be able to do all the things he could do and do the healing and everything. But it was $2,400.
更贵了
Yeah,
又更贵
Yeah, much more expensive. Yeah, but this is a long time ago too. There was a lot of money. I called my friend Linda, and we were talking. I said, "Oh, you know, Tony has this 2-week training, and you become certified in all this NLP." And she says, "Are you going?" I go, "Well, it's $2,400. I don't have $2,400." And she says, "I'll loan you the money."
Wow.
And she says, "This is what I do. I did really well as a movie star. What I do is I loan people money to take workshops. So I've done this for other people. I can do it for you too. And I'll give you an extra $500 for expenses. We can go together."
Wow.
I go, "Really?"
Again, freak.
Oh, what? Oh, wow.
wow,
So,
yeah.
So then, the thing is that I didn't feel like before. I felt like I'm in Hawaii and I belong here. Then after that, I felt like I don't feel like I belong here anymore, but what am I going to do? So I had another friend that moved to San Francisco, and he said if I wanted to, I could come live with him. So then Linda said she would loan me the money. I thought that's what I'm going to do. I'll take Tony Robbins' 2-week training, and I'll move in with my friend in San Francisco. So that's what I did. So I took his 2-week training. It was very powerful. A lot of healing took place, and we did a 60-foot fire walk. So it was very powerful. And then I moved in with my friend, but I had these new skills that I learned in the workshop. I went to a psychic fair. I met a woman there who was very psychic, but she said she had a lot of blocks to the use of her abilities. So I worked with her with Reiki, and I also was able to do past life regression therapy. And I helped her work through a lot of her blocks. So then her healing powers started to come back for her. And she said she could do something called, where she said it was like moving negative energy. She could identify where a person had blocks, and it usually was held in place by this negative energy. And she could release the negative energy. So I was working with her, and I felt like she was doing some healing for me because I worked with her to help her be a better healer. So then we decided we would get a house together. We were friends.
Roommate.
Yeah. And so we lived there. Then what happened is I started to run out of money. So I called my parents and I told them this story about how good things were going for me. And that now I was doing the NLP, past life regression therapy, Reiki, and the things were going really well. But like all businesses, sometimes you need to borrow money to keep your business going.
投资，请爸妈投资你的事业。
请爸妈投资我。
So I said, and then, so to keep my business going, could I borrow $1,000? My mother said, well, I'll talk it over with your father. We'll let you know. So I call back. My mother is really excited. Says, this money thing. I talked to your father. We have this really good idea. We're so happy about this. We cannot loan you any money, but you can come back home and live with us.
爸妈的如意算盘。
They thought this was the greatest thing they ever thought of.
最好的
I
方法。
thought, no,
谢
no.
谢
I do not want
，Thank
to.
you。
I do not ever want to go back there. No, because they were very different than me. And I thought, they want to make me like them. I cannot be like them. No, I cannot go. So then I said a prayer just asking for guidance. And I said, what should I do? And it said, give it a try. Isn't there any more than...
有没有？
Is there something else you can tell me about this? And it says, meditate on this. So I meditate. I get, there's some lesson or something back there. If I move in with my parents, I will learn a lesson, something important. That's what it is. One of the things about Reiki is I had level 1 and I got level 2. And then I talked to the teacher and there was a master level, but it was $10,000.
怎么越来
越来越难了。
So I talked to the teacher and I said, Bethel, is there anything after the level 2? She says, it's master and it's $10,000. And I said, Bethel, could I ask you a question about this? Now, level 1 was $175. Level 2 is $500, but I got it free because they helped you set the class up. And now you're going to $10,000? Is that exactly what you said? $10,000? Yeah. She says, yes, it's $10,000. I'm not going to change it. That's the price. That's it. Could you tell me why it's so much money? She said, well, it's so easy to take the class. It's only a few days. If we didn't charge a lot of money, people wouldn't respect the master level. So then I thought, well, I don't need to pay money to respect something. I respect it for what it is.
我尊重他。
But I had level 2. So I thought, well, I will use my level 2. So I was praying for guidance. And then like the being came. And so I accepted the path. What happened then is I moved in with my friend in San Francisco. And then, like I said, I ran out of money. My parents said I could come back and live with them. It said, give it a try. So I went back and moved in with them. And a number of very positive things happened. But first they said to me, we want to have a talk with you. We noticed that you're doing all these strange things. But we now notice there are some things going on in your life that perhaps you haven't been paying attention to. We would like to point them out to you. You are 40 years old. You are not married. You do not have a job. You do not have any money. And you're living with your parents. Now, we think what you need to do is instead of doing all these strange things, you need to go out there, get a good job with a big company, has lots of benefit, and go to work every day. And when you get older, you will look back on a happy life.
天下的父母都是一样的。
And I'm thinking, there is no way. I didn't say that to them. I thought, well, I at least have to give it a try. So I did do that. I got a good job with a big company, lots of benefits, went to work every day, did a fantastic job. So it was a company that was selling a long-distance phone service. This is something they had back then. Long distance was a separate service. So I had a desk, a telephone, and phone numbers to call. And so I would call people. Now, when I took the class with Tony Robbins, I learned these very special skills for being a salesperson. So I used them, and they worked really well. So in a department of 70 people, I became number 2 in sales in only 90 days. So I'm doing really good. So I get to work early one day, and I'm coming to work, and I'm thinking, what will I do? I have my Reiki, I have my astrology, past life regression therapy. I could do that, or US Sprint. I could stay with them, and I'm doing so well. And I could, what they call, rise up the corporate ladder and become an executive and do real well with this company. So which way should I go? Well, the next day they had a meeting. They called in the whole department, all 70 people, and they talked for a little while. Then they laid off the whole department, meaning we don't have a job anymore. So I thought, there is my answer. I go back to my parents and they say, why are you here now? Why aren't you at work? I say, I got laid off. Yeah. So they say, why are you smiling? You need to turn around, go back out there and get another job. And I say, now wait a minute. I did exactly what you said. I got the good job, big company, lots of benefits, went to work every day, did really well, rose up to the top, and they laid me off. It doesn't work. I could do this again and I get laid off again. But if I work for myself, I will not lay myself off. So they were upset. But I started doing that. And then one day I'm cutting the grass and my father says that I'm upsetting my mother. I think, this doesn't make any sense. I'm not upsetting my mother. What do you mean? My father is very angry. He says, let's go inside. So and we sit at the kitchen table and then he asked my mother to come in, and he wants my mother to explain why I'm upsetting her. What I realized, though, is my father is upsetting her because he's complained to her about me, doing the things I used to do before. And my mother starts crying. So I realize I need to move out. So I move into another house where everyone in this house does some type of healing or yoga or spiritual work. So I fit in very well with them. So I started writing articles for the local metaphysical paper. And the people at the paper showed me and trained me in how to do the writing. So I became a writer. And then I started teaching classes in spiritual development. So I used all my different skills to help people clear their blocks and become aware of their life purpose and then be able to start accomplishing it. And that went really well. Okay, so I was doing that. I learned to be a teacher and a writer. Then I heard that someone was teaching the master level of Reiki, but they weren't charging $10,000.
Discount?
They were charging $500.
What?
Yeah. So I thought, it can't be the real thing. That it's supposed to be $10,000. So how could it be only $500? So I went over and talked to the teacher. I said, oh no, it is the real thing. And she explained that after Mrs. Takata passed on, that her cousin started teaching the master level. She trained 2 people as Reiki masters for only $500. And then one of them was a man named Arthur Robertson. And then the woman I was talking to had taken it from him. Her name was Diane McCumber. So I thought, it's the right lineage and the right energy, but it's only $500, not $10,000. So then I took the class. Wow. I became a Reiki master. Wow. Then I'm sitting here going, what just happened? I could see I was living in Hawaii. I moved back to Detroit. No one in their right mind would do that. But then I learned how to write. I learned how to be a teacher. Now I'm a Reiki master. I thought, wow, this is amazing. So then I was able to start teaching Reiki classes. And then my Reiki classes just got better and better and better and better and better. And actually, I'm still doing it right now.
That
was 1989. I became a Reiki master.
所以其实这一个指引你的这个存有，就是让你经历了2阶所讲的治愈你的生命之后，然后你就开始学习到灵气师傅阶。
Yes, it was absolutely amazing. And because when I had to move from Hawaii to San Francisco to Detroit, myself and everyone thought, oh, that's too bad. Oh, you were living in Hawaii, now you have to live in Detroit. Oh, like something bad happened to me. Then I realized, no, this is not bad.
因为那有500块的大世界。
我想问一下，因为2014年的时候，威廉有发现了一个新的能量，叫做 Holy Fire， 也是这一位指引的存有告诉你的吗？
Yes, the being is here now. It still guides me.
现在
Yes.
Where? Beside here?
I think it's right here.
哇，
behind the
我就
flowers.
一直，我刚刚就一直想说，完了啦，
后面有谁？
我好想睡觉，因为光的力量让整个
有一波一
空间
波的能量一直过来。
光的力量很安静。
Yeah, so this being, like I didn't know who it was, and it said basically it'd be better not to know because we have such a good connection. It's working really well. Then several years ago, I guess it was time, he said I could know more about the being. And first he said he's an angel. I go, oh, angel, that's good. That's cool.
That's cool.
Then it says I am an archangel. I go, oh, that's even better. And, so it's Archangel Michael. So, I didn't realize that, but then now I know. So Michael is my guide.
哦，所以是到2014年的时候 ，Holy Fire 跟 Reiki 在威廉这里。
What happened there is that I was being guided, and like I was guided to become a Reiki master. And then because the kahuna I had worked with had studied with 9 other kahunas, I thought, well, that's the way to do it. So then I realized if I was a Reiki master, but I went on and studied with other, like 6 other Reiki masters. And while some of what they taught was the same, they had additional training or ideas. So that greatly expanded my understanding of what it was to be a Reiki master. Then also when I worked with a kahuna, he said something very important. He says it's a very good idea to work with a clairvoyant healer because the clairvoyant healer can see your blocks and help you to heal more quickly. And so I worked with the kahuna at first, but then eventually had several other people like that. And one of them was Michelle Griffith, and she worked with me like that for a while. And then Janice Jones. And then it was with Janice Jones that my Reiki started to develop, getting stronger. And so, like I said, I studied with 6 other Reiki masters. But my sessions with Janice Jones were like upgrades, and my Reiki was getting stronger with her. And she worked with a guru from India named Sai Baba. So anyway, she worked with, and Jesus, so those 2. But Jesus was as a spiritual master, so those 2 guides. And so they were increasing the strength of my Reiki. And then I had a session in 2014, and in the session, Jesus said that he had worked with my energy and taken it as far as it could go, but there's a new energy he wants to share with me. But I'll need to take 2 of the symbols I'm using and release them because they are preventing the new energy from coming in. And they were the fire serpent and the Tibetan dicomio.
所以用2个符号换成1个符号。
Yeah, I released those, and then after that, I got the new energy. But I didn't know everything about it right away, only over time. So Jesus said that rather than doing a hands-on attunement, I would do something different. That I would just talk for a short time, then stop talking. Then Jesus would come in and do the attunement with each student directly. So I did that. And so we were at my place on Maui. We went outside. And so the students were sitting in a row. I was sitting in front. And so I did that. I did a brief guided meditation. And I stopped talking. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, seems like I need to just go in. So I got up off my chair and then came into the house. I went into my room and I'm thinking, I hope something happened. part of me is thinking that. Part of me is thinking that something probably did happen. So, but anyway, I was worried. So I heard all the students come in. So I go into the classroom. I just say, who would like to share about what happened? And one woman goes, I would. And she said, this is so different. That she said a prayer asking that there would be a physical demonstration that would show that something actually happened. And she said, when I got off of my chair and went into the house, then this whirlwind, like a small tornado, came around my chair. And it was just blowing things all around the chair. And then the chair shot straight up in the air, and it was blown 50 yards away. And all the people were sitting there still they right after the attunement. They couldn't believe it, what was happening. Then the woman said that was her sign, that something had happened. Then every person started sharing. I could see this very clear blue light coming from each one. And they all said the energy was very powerful. Wow. And then we practiced, and it was much stronger. So I go, wow. So then Jesus was also experimenting. This was kind of like he was trying this out to see how it would work. And,
所以耶稣他也很担心吗？跟你一样。
Well, I don't think he was worried. He was just trying it out I'm sure he knew it was going to work, but just to see how the mixture of energies and how it was all going to work.
那生活能量有什么不一样？
Well, the thing is, then he saw that it all worked, and then he said, well, this energy is so different, we have to give it a new name. So that's when he told me we will call it Holy Fire. So it wasn't right away, it was only after. Well, do you have any other questions around what I've talked about so far?
我比较想知道圣火能量有什么特别的。
Well, the Holy Fire was actually a spiritual energy that's been around for a very long time. And in the Bible, it's mentioned a number of times in the Bible. There was a time, it's called the Day of Pentecost. And the disciples, on the Day of Pentecost, a fire came down all around them. And then after that, they could do miracles and healing and all sorts of things. And then there was another time in the Bible where the children of Israel were going through the desert, and there was a bush that was burning, but had a flame around it. But the bush was not burning up. And that was the Holy Fire also. Yeah, and then I guess when they were walking through the desert, there were clouds that had flames. And they guided the clouds, guided them. They said that was a Holy Fire also.
那为什么圣火选择要跟 Reiki 的力量一起运作呢？
Because it's a good idea. See, the Holy Fire is very rare, comes very rarely.
Yeah.
But then Jesus saw, the attunement idea can be combined with Holy Fire, so that anyone can receive the Holy Fire.
那我们可以理解说，其实他们都来自于 source 嘛，就来自于源头嘛，只是不同的层次跟运作方式。
Yeah, the source is infinite, but it can only give us energies that we're ready to receive. So then our vibration had gotten high enough where the Holy Fire could come in. And now with this too, is the same thing. That the Holy Fire is continually upgrading our energy, and that a new energy is coming.
所以有可能现在要圣火3、圣火4。
We would not call it that, because by now there would be a Holy Fire 72. So we don't want to, I don't want to have all these, like to us, we think, this is 72, that's fantastic. But to new people they go, well, how many numbers do you guys have? This doesn't make sense. We just say now that it gets stronger. So now that it's developing, there is a new development of the Holy Fire, but it will not be completed until next year. February or March.
2月以后会发生什么事？
Well, we'll find out. I think it will be developing during that time. The reason it's taking a long time is because it's so powerful. So it's taking its time to be grounded, connected, working properly. Yeah.
今天最后啊，很想要帮所有的听众，因为很多人他是完全没有学过灵气的，但是现在有人在听的人，只要任何知道的人，可不可以请老师给每一个现在听到的人一个远端的灵气？
What I can do is a short guided meditation that will bring everyone a level of holy fire that is right for them. It will be about 10 minutes or so.
大约10分钟。
Okay, so just make yourself comfortable.
让你自己很舒适，
You could be seated or laying down,
可以是坐着的，或者躺下，
or even change your position during the meditation.
或者在冥想过程当中改变你的姿势。
And just take a deep breath and close your eyes.
做一个深呼吸，闭上你的眼睛，
Allow yourself to relax.
允许你自己放松。
And I'd like you to bring your hands into the prayer position, we also call gasho.
请将你的双手合掌，
You can rest your hands on your chest or on your legs, anywhere comfortable.
但是你的手呢，可以放在胸口或者腿上，任何你舒服的位置。
And just allow yourself to relax.
允许你自己放松。
And the holy fire energy now is coming down into each person,
生活的能量现在往下来，进入
very soothing and healing and relaxing.
非常的舒缓，非常的放松。
And very high overhead, there's a beautiful ball of light,
远远的在你头顶上有一道光球，
a wonderful ball of light.
美丽的一团光球，
It's shimmering, shining,
闪耀着，闪烁着，
filled with healing energy.
充满了疗愈的力量，
healing power.
疗愈的能量。
It's the light of the holy fire.
它是圣火的光，
And this light descends down,
这道光往下降，
coming all the way down in front of your heart,
一路来到你的心前，
and then flows through your heart
接着经过你的心，
into your heart chakra,
进入到心轮之中，
filling you with spiritual light
以灵性的光填满
in your physical body
物质身体
and your aura.
以及你的气场。
It's a wonderful blessing that's coming to you now.
现在来到你这里的是美妙的祝福。
And take a moment now to meditate on this wonderful light,
花一点时间对这道光做一个冥想。
allowing yourself to relax more deeply now.
现在允许你自己更深的放松。
And this is a unique experience for each person,
对每个人来说都是独一无二的体验，
supplying you with healing
供应给你的是疗愈
and guidance.
以及指引。
And there's nothing that you need to do
你没有需要做任何事，
except relax
就是放松，
and be passive
被动的、
and receptive.
接受的，就
And just listen to the music
听着音乐，
and be with the process.
在过程中进行。
And you can continue with your experience as long as you feel guided to do so.
如果你感觉到你要一直在这个能量当中，你就可以继续保持在其中。
And whenever you're ready, take a couple of deep breaths.
当你准备好，就做几个深呼吸，
And bring your awareness to your eyes.
将感觉值带到你的双眼。
And whenever you're ready, open your eyes and return. And for those who are listening, you can actually take a moment to write down your experiences in a notebook or
刚刚聆听的伙伴们，可以花一点时间在你的笔记本上或者纸张上把你体验记录下来。
Okay.
哇哦，
哇，
谢谢威廉，
差点睡着了。
什么感觉？
我刚刚就不到1分钟吧，那个白色的光的球，然后流进来，那我就想要掉眼泪。
想要哭，对，我也哭了。
你有
你有看到什么吗？
我没有看到什么哎、
感觉什么？
可是有一个感觉，
先打了很多哈欠，哈，就哭了。
我看到一道光还在里面就合展，它那边旋转的感觉。然后，而且因为我原本不是喉咙就来的时候有点不舒服嘛，有点痛。然后突然就是刚刚就聊天聊到一半，就觉得好像有一波一波能量过来，然后就好像喉咙变比较没有痛的感觉。然后刚刚做那个冥想的时候，突然就觉得原本睡着的突然醒过来，就突然就是变很清醒的感觉。
Ah, good.
我有感觉有什么不一样吗？
Oh, I felt I enjoyed the holy fire, sure. It's just a blessing.
威廉觉得今天来节目感觉
Oh, I thought it was very good.
我们约这个访谈算是蛮突然，然后可以这么荣幸的邀请威廉来这个我们的节目。当然，我觉得今天故事也让我们都觉得啊，原来老师的成长历程是这样子的，这很有趣，很启发人心。听众们呢，也可以因为老师的这个故事，原本就有学过灵气的，或是没有学过灵气的，然后想要感受点什么，我觉得都很欢迎大家，就是来到我们灵气大家庭。因为自从我们学会灵气之后，我们觉得灵气实在是太好用了。不管是你在心理上啊，或是你真的在身体上不舒服啊，任何状况，就是它是一个很能落实在生活中的一个很棒的工具。
而且那个，如果大家有兴趣，可以到威廉他自己有一个 ICRT 的国际灵气训练中心的网站，上面有很多资料，大家可以自己去摄取一下。
Google 一下。
Yeah, Reiki.org.
那威廉老师还有什么想要跟我们说的？
跟大家分享的。
跟大家分享。
I've enjoyed myself here, and I wish everyone, success. Things will go very well for you.
Thank you.
And that you'll be lifted up into higher levels of consciousness.
Thank you，威
棒，
廉。
谢谢老师今天来，
谢谢，
Oh, you're
谢谢
welcome.
威廉。